All right, we're talking melty, meaty, cheesy, smoky. Next time you're on the grill, you're gonna make or want to make one of these. We're talking about non-traditional quesadillas. Back outside with Craig and Gay Jones. What you didn't see is just before we came back, Craig was telling me I had a little bit of leftover quesadilla from the first segment on my face. You know what? None of the other studio crew in there told me, Craig. So I did all that work on TV.
Now you know where the love comes from, right?
Now I know, guys, who's taking the real care of me out here. Mr. Dante Jones, our producer.
Like I said, we love it. We know you're really getting into the food when you're wearing it, right?
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
All right, so where did you kind of come up for these ideas of the non-traditional quesadilla? I mean, traditional quesadilla would be, you know, your cheese, your chicken, sour cream,
right?
Kind of stuff like that.
Guacamole, things like that. So almost sort of a Mexican influence.
Yeah.
Right? Well, which is really where the quesadilla came from. But what I like to do is just, I do this with pizzas also. I reimagine a pizza and go, well, what food do you really like to eat? And then just convert that. So the first one we're going to make here, this is going to be a Cuban. So it's like a Cuban sandwich, but we're going to do it with the quesadilla. So we'll start off with, here's some pork that we've already previously smoked.
All right.
So we get the smoky goodness of the pork here. And you notice I started with the cheap yellow mustard. That's a very important ingredient.
Cheap yellow mustard?
Cheap yellow, that's what my recipe says, cheap yellow mustard.
The cheapest you can find.
Then we're gonna put some ham on there. You can use Black Forest ham or whatever you had. We actually had some left over. Gotta put pickles on it, lots of them. And then we're gonna top that with some Swiss cheese.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, so I'll make these a little bit thicker than what we did before. And then let's top it with some more
mustard.
More cheap yellow mustard, right?
All right. Gina Bullard's out here, folks, taking pictures for her Instagram, so make sure you follow Gina.
This is for you, Gina.
So good.
Yes. So we, again, same thing. We're building on half. We fold it over because it's easier to handle on the grill.
Yeah.
Imagine if you had two of them and trying to
flip-flop and everything like that, sure.
So we went from the Cuban, now we're going to go to the Rueben.
Okay, now while you're making the Rueben, Gay, I got to ask you, is it true? I guess your husband says that if there's a quesadilla on the menu at a restaurant, you're normally going to get the quesadilla no matter what? Is that your go-to?
That is, I love me a quesadilla, and it's always a joke if I'm really undecided and there's a quesadilla on the menu. Oh, you know,
that's what you go for.
Who doesn't love some cheese and a warm tortilla and other goodies? So why not go to a quesadilla? And that way I can really gauge the level of the restaurant.
There you go.
It's actually like a joke because if there's a quesadilla, I'm like, oh, she'll have the quesadilla, and she's like, no, I don't want it.
Do it.
And then when they come back for the order, that's what they do.
Totally.
All right.
I used to do that with the Philly cheesesteak. But that's a topic for another day.
All right, so we started off with some
Rueben
Dijon. This is going to be a Rueben. We've got pastrami on there. We've got our sauerkraut. Now I'm going to use this thing. It's called Everything But The Bagel or Everything Bagel seasoning.
This is the Trader Joe's seasoning or something?
Yeah. Now I will have to say this is not my original idea. I got this when I was in New York City a few weeks ago.
Okay.
There's what I think one of the best pizza places in New York City is called Speedy Romeo.
Oh, okay.
And they basically made a pizza like this using that same seasoning.
Ooh.
And so I did it on some pizzas, and now we're doing it here. Now let's finish this off with a little bit of Thousand Island.
All right.
And then we'll put Swiss on this too.
Okay.
So more Swiss.
You gotta have lots of Swiss on your Rueben sandwich there.
Lots of it.
There we go.
So there we go. A little bit more, of course. You know me and the cheese, right? Okay. So then next we got our veggie one.
Veggie, okay.
So I don't have a sauce on this, so we'll start with the Monterey Jack. We like Monterey Jack because it adds a little bit of
extra flavor
character.
to it. Yeah, sure.
So we grilled these up earlier when you were out. These are some zucchini.
Okay.
We just put on the grill. We marinated and put them on the grill. We smoked up a little bit of sweet corn. So put that on top of there.
Now we're talking.
And then a little bit of cilantro. Some people don't like cilantro, so you don't have to use that, but we like to add it on there. And then for a little extra added zest, let's take some lemon.
Some lemon zest, okay.
Add a little acid to it, a little bit of brightness.
Yeah. I bet that really helps that sweet corn pop a little bit,
Oh,
too.
yeah. It all the flavors just come through. And I'll use maybe a little bit more Monterey Jack on top. And then we're pretty much ready to go.
And there you go. So about the same, since you made some of those, the ones on the other end a little bit thicker, probably a little bit more grill time for those, you think?
No, because really what's happening, go ahead, our grill time is going to be predicated on how bottom or how dark the bottom gets.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So the cheese will melt either way, so we'll put those on. Put this one on.
And again, this has got to be like the biggest grill I've ever seen. And it's fantastic. Is that 36 inches wide?
I think it is. Let's go ahead and put the lid on. So we put the lid on so it'll melt. Even though this is only going to be just maybe
right.
30 seconds or so, and then she'll flip it and we'll finish it off.
Well, we're out of time here, so we got to run. But I'm going to try to get a picture of these for the very end. Or are these the finished ones already?
These are the finished ones.
All right, I'm going to go after the Rueben.
This is the Rueben. Yep.
I'm a big fan of Rueben sandwiches already, so I'm pretty stoked
Let's
to try
go.
this. And I'm making a mess already too. All right, well,
That's
I'm going to
killer, isn't it?
That's fantastic. I'm going to finish up eating out here. Into you, Sherry.